Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste everyone. Day 3 of Saptaham. Today we will briefly listen to the 4th and 5th cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which teach us about unwavering devotion, humility, righteous leadership, and the greatness of God's creation. The 4th canto contains the inspiring stories of Dhruva Maharaja, King Pruthu, and the lessons learned from Daksha Yagna. The fifth canto describes the life of the great devotee King Bharata and reveals the wonderful arrangement of the universe created by the Supreme Lord. Fourth canto, the power of pure devotion. The fourth canto begins with the story of Daksha Prajapati, whose pride led him to disrespect Lord Shiva. This teaches us that pride and anger create unhappiness, while humility, respect, and devotion bring peace. The canto then tells the inspiring story of Dhruva Maharaja, a young prince whose determination and devotion continue to inspire devotees of all ages. Dhruva Maharaja, the child who attained the Lord. Dhruva was only 5 years old when he felt deeply hurt after being insulted by his stepmother. His loving mother Suniti advised him to seek the shelter of the Supreme Lord instead of becoming angry. With great determination, Dhruva went alone into the forest to worship Lord Vishnu. Along the way, sage Narada met him and lovingly taught him how to meditate on the Lord and chant his own holy names. Dhruva performs severe penance with complete faith and devotion. Pleased by his sincere worship, Lord Vishnu personally appeared before him and blessed him. Although Dhruva had first desired a great kingdom, after seeing the Lord, he realized that the greatest treasure is loving devotion to God. The Lord blessed him with spiritual wisdom, a glorious kingdom, and finally an eternal place in the spiritual world. Even today, the bright Dhruva star reminds us of his steady devotion. Dhruva's story teaches us that sincere devotion, patience, and faith always attract the Lord's mercy. King Pruthu, the ideal ruler. The 4th canto also tells us about King Pruthu, an ideal king who ruled with justice, compassion, and devotion. When the people suffered because the earth was not producing enough food, King Pruthu prayed on the Lord and worked for the welfare of everyone under his righteous rule. Prosperity returned and the people lived happily. King Pruthu showed that a true leader serves others with kindness, honesty, and humility. He always placed the welfare of his people above his own comfort. 5th canto, Learning through Great Devotees. The 5th canto begins with the life of King Bharata, who accepted his responsibilities with devotion to the Lord. It then describes the life of his grandson King Bharata, whose story teaches us about the importance of keeping our minds fixed on God. King Bharata, the importance of steady devotion. King Bharata was a great devotee who gave up his kingdom to dedicate his life to spiritual practice. One day he found a helpless baby deer and lovingly cared for it. Gradually, his attachment to the deer became so strong that it distracted him from remembering the Lord. Because his thoughts were fixed on the deer. At the time of death, he was born as a deer in his next life. However, due to his previous devotion, he remembered his past and continued his spiritual journey. In his following birth as Bharata, he lived as a humble and detached devotee. He remained constantly absorbed in remembering the Supreme Lord and eventually attained liberation. His life teaches us that while kindness is important, our greatest attachment should always be to God. The wonderful creation of the Lord. The fifth canto also beautifully describes the vast universe created by the Supreme Lord. It explains the arrangement of the planets, mountains, oceans, rivers, and different regions of creation. These descriptions remind us that the entire universe operates according to the Lord's perfect plan. Everything in creation reflects His wisdom, power, and care of all living beings. When we look at the beauty of nature, the stars in the sky, the rising sun, and the changing seasons, we can remember the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Lessons we learned today. Pure devotion, faith, and determination always attract the Lord's blessings. Pride and anger lead to sorrow, while humility brings peace. We should serve others with kindness, honesty, and compassion, just as King Pruthu did. We should not become attached to temporary things, but keep our minds focused on God. God has created the entire universe with perfect wisdom and love. By remembering the Lord every day, we gradually become peaceful, wise, and joyful. The stories of Dhruva Maharaja, King Pruthu, and King Bharata teach us that the Lord always guides sincere devotees. Whether we are young or old, if we worship Him with faith, live righteously, and show kindness to others, He blesses us with spiritual strength and everlasting peace. Let us pray that Bhagavan Sri Krishna blesses us with unwavering devotion like Dhruva, the spirit of selfless service like King Pruthu, and steady remembrance of like Bharata. Sarve jana sukino bhavantu, loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Sri Hari, Sri Hari, Sri Hari.